Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Miss K. Today we're going to have some fun making some no yeast bread. This is called very traditional Irish soda bread, and as the name suggests, it's made from baking soda. This is your magic ingredient, is baking soda. When you don't have yeast to rise your bread, then you use baking soda, and that will be the rising agent in your bread. So as I sent on Edsby, you'll see all of the ingredients posted there. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sour our milk. So the recipe calls for buttermilk. And if you have buttermilk, that's great. You can skip this step. But if you don't have buttermilk, you can easily make it by yourself. All you need to do is have a little bit of lemon juice or some vinegar and your 2 cups of milk. So I'm using regular milk. As I mentioned, you can use almond milk, you can use oat milk, substitute whatever you want for that. Willem, if you're not having the dairy anymore, you can do that. So we're going to use 2 cups. So I'm going to fill it right up to 2 cups. And then I'm going to squeeze my lemon. And I'm going to add the juice of half my lemon. And I'm going to put this off to the side and let it sit and just let nature, or chemistry really, do its magic. So we're just going to put that over here for now. And now we're ready to get started. So we're going to start off today with a nice large mixing bowl, like this. And we're going to put in our 2 cups of flour. I'm just using all-purpose flour. There's no need for anything else. Once again, remember, you want to make sure that you're leveling really well. So I'm using the back of my spatula to make sure that it's nice and level. There we go. 2 cups. Now we're going to need to add our baking soda and our salt. So 1 teaspoon of salt. I use my salt grinder, so you can measure yours out if you have table salt. And I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, so as I mentioned, this bread actually is a cross between bread and kind of a cake almost, and it's kind of a sweet bread. So in order to get that sweetness, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of white sugar. There we go. Then we're going to take our whisk and we're going to give it a little stir, just to combine all of those ingredients. So now you've got your dry ingredients all set up, and it's time to add the flavoring of your choice. But before you do that, it is important for you to remember to turn on your oven and preheat your oven to 425. If you haven't done that yet, you should do that. And also make sure you have your baking tray out and you put a nice piece of parchment paper on top of that so that the bread won't stick when it comes out. So now it's time to add the fruit of your choice. So traditional Irish soda bread is going to use raisins or currants. But if you're not a raisin fan like I am, you can use any kind of dried fruit. So if you want to use dried cherries or apricots or blueberries or what's called mixed peel, you can buy this in the store as well. This is like a citrus, so lemons and oranges and that sort of thing. You can use this. I'm going to use a combination today of this one and some blueberries, some dried blueberries. Right here, you can get these from Costco. But, you know, I also think that dried cherries would be quite tasty as well. So just use your taste to guide which ones that you chose that you like, okay? So we're going to add our fruit. So measuring 1 cup of the fruit. So I'm going to do a combination. So once you've added your dried fruit, now we're going to add our zest of 1 lemon. So using your grater really carefully, and you're just firmly, all right, you're going to be going across just like you would with cheese, and you're going to grate that lemon peel. And the orange. After you're finished, if you have some that gets stuck in the bottom, you can just put your finger in like that and push it down. Okay? At this point, it should look like this. Okay? And you've got all of your dried fruit and your zest all mixed in together. All right, now we're going to add a little bit of vegetable shortening, or butter is okay too. I've chosen to use a vegetable shortening. I'm using tender flake. You can also use Crisco. You can also use margarine if that's all you have in your house, or you can also use some kind of soy vegetarian spread as well. Okay, so this one, if you're using, has a nice handy guide here where you can measure out the amount that you need. So we need 1/4 cup. I've measured it out, and we're going to pop that in here. First, I'm going to cut it into some smaller pieces to make it a little bit easier to work with. There we go. And I'm going to give my hands a little quick wash. That's pretty sticky stuff. And now it's time to stir it up. I'm using a fork just to press down through the vegetable shortening, or if you have butter in there, just to blend it all nicely into the flour. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to make a well in the center, and it's exactly what you think. You're going to make a little hole in the center of your flour mixture, and that is where you're going to pour your milk. So your milk has been sitting on the counter for about 10 minutes. So it should be a little bit curdled, which means it might be thickening inside. Yeah, so you can see that there's some thick pieces. That's what you want. That's buttermilk. Okay, and I'm going to carefully pour that into the center well. And I'm going to stir. You can see now I'm going to put my hand in and I'm going to start to form a ball. And if it's a little bit sticky, just grab a little bit more flour and just sprinkle the flour on the top so that it's more manageable. Okay, I'm going to give my hands a rinse off here and get ready to put it on my board. There we go, and form it into a nice shape. There we have it on our board. The final step before we pop this in the oven is we're going to cut the bread. I'm going to use a longer knife to make it easier, and I'm going to make 8 slices. I'm going to go all the way down. Now I'm going to pop this in the oven, 425 for 30 minutes. I'll see when it's done. So while that's cooking up in the oven, it's time for you to do, great time for you to do your cleanup. So wash all your dishes and to create a nice little plate for your bread when it comes out. So as you can see, you don't want to waste the orange because oranges are delicious and they go great with the bread. So you're going to cut that up, make a nice little garnish. And then you're going to have a little bit of dollop of butter, or if you want to put some jam on there too. So for example, I have some nice jam. I have some nice cherry jam I could put onto the side as well. Okay. So different ways you can cut up your orange. So I did mine just putting it on a flat surface. There we go. And again, just little slices that just go on the side of your plate. Right? Or if you want to do, you can do quarters as well. And you can put those out any way you like. Most of the people in my family don't like the white part, so we cut that off. And then it looks a little bit more professional, I suppose. So these are just the ways that you can take something that's very simple and you can make it into something a little more special. And of course, you decide how you want to serve that. So we have about 20 minutes left on our timer. So right now your kitchen should be starting to smell a little fruity. You should be seeing some rising action happening in the oven. Don't open the door, just turn on the light and you should be able to see some rising happening. You should see the fruit maybe bubbling up a little bit. So that's good. So I'm going to just have a pause, and when you come back, we'll see our beautiful Irish soda bread out of the oven and ready to eat. So 30 minutes have passed, and I've just taken my bread out of the oven. I can tell that it's done because it has a very, very deep, rich brown, crusty finish on the top. All right, inside should be nice and soft. So I'm going to just press a little bit on here. Yeah. And it should have a beautiful smell to it as well. So I'm going to really carefully take this off the pan. Here we go. I'm going to take off my parchment paper. And you should notice that where you slice the bread has made indentations in the cooking process, and those become your slices. So you're going to let this rest for about 10 or 15 minutes to cool it down a little bit, and then you'll be able to cut it exactly where you put those cut marks before, okay? So, and then of course, I'll show you the finished product. I'll post a picture on Etsy just like all you do, and I hope you enjoy. So that today was our lesson on how to make bread without yeast, traditional Irish soda bread. Enjoy. And see you next time on another episode of Cooking with Miss K. Later on, we'll be doing Japanese cooking. See ya!